To understand this, you have to go back to what young brother here referred to as the house Negro and the field Negro. Back during slavery, there was two kinds of slaves. There was the house Negro and the field Negro. The house Negro, they lived in the house with master. They dressed pretty good. They ate good because they ate his food, what he left. They lived in the attic or the basement, but still they lived near their master. And they loved their master more than the master loved himself. They would give their life to save their master's house quicker than the master would. The house Negro, if the master said, we got a good house here, the house Negro say, yeah, we got a good house here. Whenever the master said we, he said we. That's how you can tell a house Negro. If the master's house caught on fire, the house Negro would fight harder to put the blaze out than the master would.
Listen, it's called Connect Team, and it's insane.
If the master got sick, the house Negro would say, what's the matter, boss? We sick. We sick. He identified himself with his master more than his master identified with himself. And if you came to the house Negro and said, let's run away, let's escape, let's separate, that house Negro would look at you and say, man, you crazy. What you mean separate? Where is there a better house than this? Where can I wear better clothes than this? Where can I eat better food than this? That was that house Negro. In those days, he was called a house nigger. And that's what we call him today because we still got some house niggers running around here. This modern house Negro loves his master. He wants to live near him. He'll pay 3 times as much as the house is worth just to live near his master. And then brag about, I'm the only Negro out here. I'm the only one on my job. I'm the only one in this school. You're nothing but a house Negro. And if someone come to you right now and say, let's separate, you say the same thing that the house Negro said on the plantation. What you mean separate? From America? This good white man? Where you gonna get a better job than you get here? I mean, this is what you say. I ain't left nothing in Africa. That's what you say. Why, you left your mind in Africa. On that same plantation, there was the field Negro. The field Negro, those were the masses. There was always more Negroes in the field than there was Negroes in the house. The Negro in the field caught hell. He ate leftovers. In the house, they ate high up on the hog. The Negro in the field didn't get nothing but what was left of the insides of the hog. They call them chitlins nowadays. In those days, they call them what they were, guts. That's what you were, a gut eater. And some of you are all still gut eaters. The field Negro was beaten from morning till night. He lived in a shack, in a hut. He wore cast-off clothes. And he hated his master. I say he hated his master. He was intelligent. That house Negro loved his master. But that field Negro, remember, they were in the majority. And they hated the master. When the house caught on fire, he didn't try and put it out. That field Negro prayed for a wind, for a breeze. When the master got sick, the field Negro prayed that he died. If someone come to the field Negro and said, let's separate, let's run, he didn't say, where are we going? He said, any place is better than here.
What is good, my people? We are live back again with another live broadcast on the forecast. What's going on, Cassandra? How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Congrats, congrats, congrats. I love it.
Oh yeah, thank you. I appreciate
Got
it.
that book. You need to put it up there so we can see it. Did you pull it up?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up. Yeah, and shouts out to
Oh,
Nicole Day by Day in the
yeah.
building. Shouts out to Matron in the building.
Trend. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
That was a good book. You was reading yesterday, cause Matron. So I appreciate that. But how you doing today, Cassandra?
I am amazing. Amazing.
Okay.
A
And
little
yeah, all
early.
right. Yeah. So let me yeah, so I finally got the book to go up today. The first part. It's just the ebook. It's gonna take like a few more days for the hardcover to go through, I guess.
Oh,
It's a
that's fine.
pain. Yeah, the whole process is a pain in the ass. So
Yeah, that's fine.
um
Yes. I have to order my copy.
so yeah, check it out. This is the link for it, I guess.
Oh, yeah. I
This
love
is the
it.
book. Yeah, it's
Yes.
finally
I'm so
out.
proud of you. This is good.
Uh
Woo.
and
Now
we
we
can
can get
go
it in the
through it or
school.
whatever, and we probably do that on another live sometime this
Yes,
week
we
or
need
next week or
to.
something like that.
Yes.
But yeah, it's finally out, y'all. So I appreciate everybody
Congrats.
who helped me. And it
Congrats.
was only all black people who helped me. Like, and it's a pain in the ass too because I got it right, but it's still like mistakes in there that like I know for sure that I got right. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Like right here, it's supposed to say European, Europe, but it says European. But I know for sure that I got it right. Because I got
Huh.
the original right here, and it says it
Oh,
right
wow.
here. It
Really?
says
So did you think they changed some things?
Europeans. It didn't say Europe, so I don't even know how that got changed. I don't know. All of it's just a pain, but it don't matter. It's up now,
I mean, it's up there,
and
so you ain't
I
got to
guess
pull
I'll
out
have
every
that
mistake now.
change
It's okay.
available. So
You get the
um,
next one gonna be perfect. It's all good.
yeah,
Yep,
I
it's all good.
appreciate
You
that. I
celebrate every
appreciate that,
win.
y'all.
Celebrate every win. Congrats.
But
Yes.
yeah, how
Don't
you
worry
doing
about
today, though, Cassandra?
I'm good. I'm so proud of you. That's good. Now let's get it in some schools. Let's get it out there. Send it to some
All right, you
principals.
there?
Yeah, send it to some principals. Let them know it's out there. Send it to the jails.
All right,
Let
Cassandra
them
must be
read it to
busy,
the
but so
brothers in
yeah,
the
man.
jail.
Hopefully, it's not about who get it or whatever, because really this is for the next generation so that we can see how the whole system
Yeah,
like was created and the difference between this and I haven't seen any other. I go like literally year by year, so we see how the whole thing was developed. You know what I mean? So, and this was a long process and costed me a lot of money. So, um, I definitely
yeah. This every
appreciate
dime is gonna be
the
worth it.
love and the support everybody
Yes,
been giving me for it.
it's gonna be worth it.
Yeah, shouts out to my brother Anthony. Yeah, consider, and this is just part one. It's probably gonna be like part four parts. Like this.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
good. That's good. Yeah, I can't wait to get my copy. I
yeah.
ain't
I'm
gonna
gonna
have to
just
do
send
the
you.
ebook.
Yeah, I'm gonna just send you one, consider. So
Oh no, I'm gonna buy it. Man, this is amazing. I'm so proud of you. This is good. Our babies they need this. This is great history because they trying to erase it right now, whether we know it or not. If you guys don't pass this book along to your generations, that's crazy. You have to hold on to our history. That's something we're not doing, and now they're trying to call you servants instead of slaves. Because if I change the wording, Guess what? You're no longer slaves. So what do I owe you for? Because we're calling you servants and we're not calling you slaves. So just be careful. We have to understand what they're doing. This is for a reason. This book
Hmm.
is out here for a reason. Let's not forget. They're always trying to erase our history. Don't let them do it. This should be in everybody's household. Everybody's household.
Yeah, shouts out to Karma 804. Now I ain't gonna lie, cause I've been working on this since 2018, like the actual book part, like writing it and the research and all that stuff since 2018.
Wow.
So
Wow. That's good. That's
yeah,
good. So you got the whole, the whole 4 or 5 chapters ready, huh? The whole,
yeah.
how many volumes is it? You said about
It,
4 or 5 volumes?
it'll probably be like four because it goes all the way up until 2020. I stopped in 2020.
Oh no, you gotta keep going. 2020, you gotta keep going. Because they still hanging niggas. They still
Yeah,
hanging folk. We can't stop. So you may as well
yeah,
start on that next one. You're gonna be
yeah,
writing this
yeah,
continuously until the day you get done, until you close them pearlies. Cause
yeah.
yeah, they ain't changing. I mean, really, this year, last
Mm.
year, and they exposed us some stuff now. You really got to go deep with that to understand what's really going on. When you talk about eating babies and doing this and there, what are they really doing? People don't understand. That's called sacrificing. People don't understand how deep these people are. We're not dealing with humans. We're not dealing with real people. You gotta talk on that. Now that's gonna take more research to really understand who are these people, who we dealing with,
Yeah.
who are we really dealing with.
Well, put it this way, where my book ends, and then after the book ends, then you had the pandemic right after that. So my book stops in December 31st, 2020. No,
Oh wow.
and then January 2020. No, whatever. Yeah, like the after my book ends, that's when you had the pandemic, and then I guess everything you can look up on my channel now, we've been talking about since then. So
Yes, I'm telling you, you're not done. Continue on.
yeah,
Continue on the journey. But congratulations. Do not stop because this is much needed. Much needed. Welcome,
yeah,
Anthony. Karma 804. Welcome. Yeah,
yeah.
this is
So
very much needed. I'm glad you got it out here. So
yeah,
y'all go
yeah.
get y'all copy. This should be on the table with your Bibles.
Mhm.
The Bibles that y'all already read, but we're gonna read this. Put this on the table next to the Bible.
Yeah, this is the second highest selling book next to the Bible.
Exactly. Hey, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
But
but
congratulations. This is amazing. Very
yeah.
proud.
So, and we're gonna continue with history. I would. This one is like more so about. I guess the way is going to end up breaking down is like this one kind of ended at slavery, and the next one would be like Jim Crow. Then the next one would
Yeah.
be kind of like around the civil right. Then the last one would be like modern. So,
Yes. Awesome.
and
Awesome.
then maybe put it all together. But now going
Everybody
into
on here
what.
should put it on your Facebook page. Go in there on the Amazon and put it on your Facebook page. We need to get this out. Need to get it out because we want teachers, we want our students, our kids, grandkids to be able to read this book. Buy them copies for this Christmas. How about that? Buy them copies for their birthdays. Instead of buying them Nintendos and games, buy them a copy of it so they can understand the history. So when they try to change your history, you got the book.
Yeah,
Yes, very, very
yeah.
nice. Congrats, congrats, congrats.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, that's facts because they definitely like to play, but you can't if you have the information, they can't just tell you anything.
Yep, that's
Um,
right.
Now before we get into the history thing, because I do want to show you something, and I ain't gonna lie to you. Like we said something positive, but this might piss you off. Well, it pissed me off. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Oh Lord, this is not a piss off day forecast.
It is. We always be pissed off. Now, do you remember that sleepover with the young brother, and they made him drink pee and all that stuff? You remember that?
Oh Lord, yeah, I remember.
Now,
Well, this
tell me
is what
why.
happens when you allow your kids to go to their houses. Why do we keep doing that? What about the little boy that got burned when he went and visited the family and he got burned? What about that one? You know what I'm saying? Why we keep doing this? But that's okay. Go ahead. Show them what we're working with, what they're working with.
No, now not only did the white kid not get found guilty or there was no kind of charge or crime or nothing, but now that white kid sued a black boy's mom, and won $3 million for suing her because she called him racist.
Wow. Ain't that something? Ain't that a slap in the damn face? Now
This
you
is
ought to sue
crazy.
the system. She needs to sue the fucking system. The judge that okayed that, the judge that didn't bring charges, or the judge or whoever told them that the boy was not guilty. Now she needs to go. You gotta fight this stuff. This is crazy. Now how am I gonna pay you $3 million when you set up there? No, you know your heart. They gonna always do this. This is what they always do. This is how they get the wealth. And you know how we sit up there and say, "Oh, how do they get rich?" Well, that's how he just got fucking rich off of her, off of giving her son P. Now that was a joke, but it was still racist. So the judge said not guilty. So now you can go sue them. So now they just sued him. Now that's where his wealth gonna start. That's how the wealth starts, you guys. They steal it from us. They still stole it from our ancestors. Stole the land, sold the land. Stole the land, built on the land. So now his wealth is starting on that young man's back. Ain't that something? So that's how they get their money. That's how they build their wealth. This is ridiculous. How do you say, man, I'm done. See, you done made me mad this morning. I'm going to bed.
Check it out, right? Look, watch.
That's crazy.
The story.
Can you hear it?
That's crazy.
You can hear it, Cassandra?
I can hear it.
Press conferences
I
and
can't hear it. I'm
international
gonna keep playing it, but I'm gonna leave out and come back.
This video.
Okay.
We've blurred it because it shows a group of kids. One is drinking from a cup. The kids say has urine in it. The mom of the boy drinking was outraged.
This is not a prank. This is beyond bullying. You are evil. They are evil.
Now the courts have weighed in on what happened after this sleepover in Plano 5 years ago. The family of one of the kids accused of bullying sued the mom and her lawyer. A Collin County jury agreed. The mom and her lawyer intentionally inflicted emotional distress and publicized the private information of Asher Van.
It was immature. It was stupid. It was nasty. But that's not who I am, and that's not me today.
Van, now 19.
That's who he is. What the hell you mean? That's who your mommy is. That's who your pappy is. That's who you always been. It ain't changed. They still the same people. These people have not changed, and they will never change. And you look at it today, they're eating the babies. Okay, so who the hell are we dealing with? And that needs to be a show. Who are we dealing with? That little bastard's still the same. Tell me, that's not me. Yes, that is. That was you. Why you give it to him? Why you piss in the cup? What made you do that? That's disgusting. And then made him drink. But you know what? Who I blame? His mammy. I blame the black boy's mom for allowing her son to go over that house. Why are you continuously allowing our children to hang with these damn DeBoe bastards? These people are not human. They gonna always be nasty. They cooking the babies, eating the babies, drinking the blood. What is that telling you, people? And then they trying to deny it. No, we always knew you were nasty. They will never change. And I'm hoping that America, black folk, will wake up and understand, separate from them ASAP. Take your children out their schools, because this system will never find black folk them guilty of anything. The system will never find them guilty. Not for doing something to you. Because what did they say? For one, you're 2/3. Okay, they still consider you property. So what are we doing? Thinking that you're going to get some kind of help from their system. It's never going to work. So stop taking their asses to court. Take them to the jungles. Deal with them out there. Take them to the streets. They do something to your children, take their asses to the streets. We already know what we need to do. We don't sit up here and go into details. You already know what to do. Take your candy bars and share some peanuts with them.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna rest with that. This is ridiculous. So now you get to sue the little boy who you forced to drink your piss.
And they ruined the black mom ruined his reputation.
But the black mom ruined his. But you made my son drink your nasty piss. What kind of compensation do we get for that? Nothing. He gets to be nasty and disgusting. And then what they always do, they call, oh, I'm the victim now. How? You're nasty. So now he the victim. And the judge say, poor baby, we're going to give you $3 million. For what? How many black families have gotten that much money when a police has killed their children? How many? None. They get $100,000 or whatever. They never get millions. Never. But now they're creating wealth for him. This is generational wealth for him. But he'll never get a damn because I found bankruptcy and everything on that bitch. He'll never see a damn. You hear me? He'll never. I'll give him a penny and keep it moving. This is what I think of your lawsuit. Do whatever you need to do. File bankruptcy, whatever. That bitch will never get a dime. Not a dime. Not a cent.
And he's
that demon. Yeah. But go ahead.
Says he isn't racist.
We played a prank. First one who went to sleep got pranked.
His lawyer says the viral outrage will follow the group of boys for the rest of their lives.
Good. Yes.
Significant damage, not only to their past, but to their future.
That's why he wants to try to collect the $3.2 million judgment the jury found Mom Summer Smith and her attorney must pay.
Defending my son was what I should have done.
That's
and
right.
I would defend my son still.
Smith says she plans to appeal the verdict and says there's not much she would have done differently.
I am attempting to move forward, attempting to move past it. My son is doing great.
Smith says she was sad to hear about the backlash Van says he experienced.
I never wanted anyone to threaten anyone at the school or anything. I simply wanted them to be held accountable in the proper way.
Her lawyer, Kim Cole, wasn't available for an interview, but says, quote, to me, this entire verdict runs afoul of anything decent or just. She says she never called out Van by name and accused him of trying to rewrite history.
We put on evidence that they knew that the things that they were saying were not true and that they persisted in it because they were raising money off of that narrative.
Van's lawyer says he believes the jury was convinced in part by how he says Smith used more than $100,000 in GoFundMe money. The description said it was for counseling and education, which she says some of it was spent on. What was the other portion used for?
I mean, anything to help him be able to move forward with life. He went through a traumatic experience and these people wanted to support him. And so I used it.
Now, considering not one time the white girl that called the little baby the N-word, they ain't say, what you do with your money? They'd raised, or the white boy who raised $1 million who killed this boy on the train, right? Exactly. They like, hey, what you do with your money?
Exactly. So that's her response should have been like, see, we have to stop answering to them. We have to. This is ridiculous. Why are you sitting up here defending yourself when he pissed in your son's drink? He should be defending himself. But this is, here we go back. Have they ever admitted to anything guilty when it comes to black people? They gonna always win, y'all. Stop taking them to court. You're not gonna win. You're not. Now she got to spend some more money. Okay, she got to spend some more money to get this thing overturned because they want to be racist in their system. And I will call them all. I really get on the judge now. Judge, you racist too. How many murdered black men or how many how many black folk that's got murdered by police got $1 million? I'm gonna come back to that question. How many? You gonna get this boy $3 million for some piss, but then a family who lost their son because of a racist cop gets under $1 million? You can't even get a whole $1 million. This is crazy. This is ridiculous. But this is their system. So maybe this will teach the mom, keep your son at home, especially with them white boys. Why you let them, you know how they are. These people will never change. They've been nasty since day one. Sleep with each other. Now they pissing in your son's drink. But this is us not teaching our children. Why would you drink it? Why would you drink it? That's one question. And why, Mom, would you allow your child to go over their house to spend the night or even to be hanging out with them? I wouldn't even leave my dog in the room with them. I would not. What you gonna do to my dog when I'm not there?
You know what they're gonna
Because
do.
we know the history. We know the history when it comes to animals. Just the same history comes with each other and their kids. So what are you gonna do with my dog? So if I'm not gonna leave my dog with you, definitely not gonna leave you with my child. So hopefully this was a very expensive lesson for her. And hopefully not only will she learn, but other people watching this will learn. Let's stop taking them to court.
Yeah, that's crazy right there. They made her pay $3 million because for I guess that's how much it costs to drink they piss, I guess. Um Now before we get into the history lesson, right? Because we're gonna talk about like especially because of the book and it's about slavery and stuff like that, and that's like what we're talking about history. Um I'm gonna let this white boy tell us how much of a blessing slavery was for us, or for him.
Yeah, let's talk about how much of a blessing it was.
Mm.
Hopefully it's the same blessing when your ass go into slavery.
I think the other side of it is true with our nation's history. We understand the curse that was slavery, white people do, and we say that was bad, but we miss the blessing of slavery.
Wow.
That it actually built up the framework for the world that white people live in and lived in. And so
Negro Southern, yes,
oh my God,
absolutely.
it just is
Lord.
like a fuse goes off for a lot of white people because they don't want somebody telling them to check their privilege. And so I know that you and I both have struggled in these days with, hey, if the phrase is the trip up, let's get over the phrase and let's get down to the heart.
Sure.
Let's get down to
let's do that. Let's get down to the heart. You're right. Let's do it.
Maybe a great thing for me is to call it white blessing, that I live the blessing of the curse that happened generationally that allowed me to grow up in Atlanta. And, you're talking about being 57. If you were 57, I can't imagine being that old, Dan, and being 57. But I've said to our church, Lecrae, a few weeks ago, when I was born, the day I was born on Boulevard at Georgia Baptist Hospital in 1958.
All right. So we ain't gonna call it white blessing. That's what slavery was.
Yeah, it was a white blessing for them. Yes, it was. He's not lying. It was a great blessing for them. But was it a blessing for Black people? How was that a blessing for Black people? Because you got reparations. A lot of them white folk who lost slaves got reparations. But Black folks still in 2026 still fighting for reparations. Something the white folk got in 1860s. Okay. But it's 2020. 2026 and we still fighting. We still can't get reparations because they said, I wasn't back then, but you spend the money. The money is still in your generations. So yeah, you participated. If you collected money, if your grandpa, your great left you money and you still living on that, you participated. But you want to convince us that it's a blessing. Yeah, it was a blessing for him. He's not lying. Yeah, they still living off that money today, passed down from generation to generation. And then they have a whole system that we just saw that's set up for them to get $3.2 million from a Black family. You think that Black family got $3.2 million? Where they going to get it from? Tell me that. Where they going to get it from? But the judge wants to collect on that. How the hell you going to collect on $3.2 million? How? But the attorney wants to collect on that. Okay. See, this is some twisted stuff right here. This is twisted. This is twisted. We can't win in a system. Then when a woman break all the baby bones, she gets what, 2 years? For half, for breaking baby's Black bones, you get 2 years. If that, she may not even serve that. Then you had a lady that went over in a sleepover and jumped in they knocked her off the balcony and she died and nobody went to jail. See, but y'all still want to marry them. You still want to mix and mingle with them. You still want to call them friends. That's your best friend, Nancy. You see what I'm saying? That's some sick stuff. We some sick puppies because we go along with it and we don't never hold them accountable. But I'm gonna rest with that.
No, facts. And all right, so let's go to like the history part. We're gonna go through as much as we can, and we probably gonna get sidetracked in some parts, but it is what it is. We'll do what we can do. It was a free colony, but you know, the founder of Georgia wasn't trying to ban slavery for moral reasons, right? It was for political reasons and for other strategic reasons. Now, in the last lesson, I mentioned how Spanish Florida started offering Negroes freedom in exchange for converting to Catholicism and for joining their army. And the British knew that
The
bringing
white
slaves
blessing
to
he was talking
Georgia
about.
closer to Florida was only going to start more problems and just start increasing runaways. But by this time, as word spread about Spanish Florida, many enslaved people tried to escape south before they tried to escape north, as you usually hear. The first place before Canada was Florida. And with more enslaved people helping the Spanish army, it could cause trouble for the British. And by 1738, the first black settlement in Florida was established called Fort Mose. All right. So before we even get to that, Cassandra, you know, the when they talk about the Underground Railroad, you think about Canada, but originally the first was going towards Spanish Florida, and that's where you had the black people going down there.
This is part of the list of the names of the people that they had captured. Their names, their description, their color, their skin color. Most were black, some were yellow, meaning they were mulatto or mixed, possibly mixed in with Indian or with white. And you see their former owner is also listed. And I've been in my mind about how are we ever going to find out? And fortunately, again, with Dr. Brown's research, he came up with these documents that showed these names. Well, you know, oftentimes blacks.
All right, and we're gonna go to this part, and y'all should listen
That's
to the
an
whole thing.
important
But
item too. Most of us have heard about the Underground Railroad, and the story we're always told is that the slaves ran north, following the North Star. But Florida was actually the southern route of the Underground Railroad because of the Edict of the King welcoming blacks here and the Seminoles welcoming blacks into to help them fight against the Americans trying to push them off their land. This was a place of freedom in many cases for African people. And the National Park Service, which I'll talk a little bit about later, has really recognized that and is calling that the land was very shallow and marshy. And
all right, so you know, y'all get the basics of that. Now you know how we do though, right? I want to show you modern day Spanish Florida, right? Because if you look at Florida, I mean, it ain't. Now, if we go down there and take a glimpse of Spanish Florida, this is this is what we would see down there. Consider.
Latino, bueno para arriba.
This is Spanish Florida today.
wow.
This is Spanish Florida today.
Yeah.
Rally in Miami.
This song.
Lord have mercy.
Ain't that song? Loving the man
Oh no, it won't even stop.
Ain't that now that's some mental illness shit too. Come on now. That's
All
some
right,
mental illness. We are looking at mental illness in the flesh right here. You voted for a man that told you, I'm getting ready to deport you. And y'all say they work together? How? They voted against their best interest, right? They voted for a man that told them, I'm getting ready to deport your family members. And they said, okay. So this is what they do. We love America. Who just deported? How many people? They're deporting millions per day, or at least 100,000, I'm sure, per day. But he told you what he was going to do.
A vote for Donald Trump.
Yeah, and love him and love it and rallying for it. So you mean to tell me that these are people that's together? They ain't got no problems in their community. Because this is what we always point out, right? We always look at up the culture and say, oh, I wish we could be like them. Well, you see them. They ain't nothing together about that. Because they voted against their own family members who's getting deported today. Forced to go to places in Venezuela that they've never been. They deported a 5-year-old little boy. Not with his family. How do you do that? And who did you deport him? Where did he go? Where did he end up? How do you do that? That's crazy. But this is what they voted for. But I'm going to rest with that.
So if you ask me how does it turn out when we ran to, why did we turn around and start going north? This is what we seen when we got down to Spanish Florida back then. It was like, what the hell? They was singing this same song. They had the MAGA hats and everything back then. I will vote for Donald. He was like, who the fuck is Donald Trump? And they was like, I will vote. And now look at what they got to say to us, consider.
Racial slurs. There's a video circulating on the internet where a Latina is yelling the N-word.
Oh, well. We know that already.
What else are they going to yell? What else are they going to yell? Come on now.
Boy, then now they got all these long commercials and everything like that. All right.
Created a 46.
I got more commercials. Like, it's crazy. What's going on?
The Latino community needs to stop. And we need to be the generation to stop it. Anti-Blackness exists in our community. We know this. Anti-Blackness also exists within the Black community itself. All communities of color struggle with this. And the reason why is what we all have in common.
So basically, we can't say nothing about Fat Joe calling us an N-word because we say it to each other. That's what you're saying?
We were all colonized and trained to have a mindset of you versus me for survival. But that ends with us. We need to lead with unity and not division. We have to be the change we want to see. We have to stop pointing the finger in both communities and make the decision that we are going to choose to be united versus divided. I'm not going to pretend like I have all the answers, but here are examples of how.
So, consider you got any more room left in your back to get stabbed in? As maybe you got.
And guess what? We're going to work with them. So I'm going to work with them. That's how mental we are.
Yeah.
Oh, let's keep going.
It's definitely mental illness.
Because we love black and brown, don't we?
Can't say black without the N brown.
Hey, okay. I'm just saying.
Great again. Necesitamos a Trump. Let's make America great again.
Yeah, let's make it great again. Get rid of that.
Which is crazy because America literally displaces them. And they saying, let's make it great again. Like, what? Let's be more displaced than we are. Like, what? How retarded are they?
It is crazy to me.
America itself took their stuff, and they said, make America great again. That's
I don't understand it. I don't get it.
Great again. Let's go. I'm just happy we're in good hands. I know this 4 years is going to be one hell of a run. I know it's going to be a lot of great things for the whole community.
Let's hear him say that today. How you feeling today? You think you feel the same way today?
To Mr. Trump and me and
Spanish Florida here.
Reporting que viva Puerto Rico and let's make America great again.
Let's go ahead. Whoop, whoop. Come on.
Vamonos.
We need you back.
You know who they are? Do you know who the hell they are? Come up here, just fast, fellas, come up. Because I don't know if these people know who the hell you are. But it's good for the Puerto Rican vote. Nikki Jam, you know Nikki? She's hot.
Man, stop trying to convince these people that we need to stand together and all that. They ain't trying to hear that shit, bro. They've been betrayed so many times, bro. 1877, after federal troops pulled out of the South, bro. Betrayed. 40 acres and a mule, betrayed. You feel me? Jim Crow, betrayed. Redlining, betrayed. Every promise that this country has made to them has been a false promise.
Your country too, fool.
And now we need y'all to stand with us while we march. Leave them people alone. They ain't trying to hear that shit. They ain't trying to hear that shit because they know how prevalent racism is in our community. And they know how y'all talk about them when they ain't in the room. And they know that now y'all got y'all N-word wake up, didn't y'all? Y'all got that Paul Mooney N-word wake up call. And now y'all want to scream unity and solidarity. Nah, it don't work that way. It don't work that way. The people that have been working together will continue to work together.
Yeah, you show me those people. And like, come on. I mean, we can go on and on about that. We'll never get through history just being stuck in Spanish Florida today. So I don't know what to tell you. Oh, listen to this, Cassandra. Spanish Florida today.
You know, one question I get asked a ton is if I would ever date an African American man or if I ever been with one. And my answer is it's not for me. Unfortunately, it's not for me. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. It's not. And I'm going to give you guys the point of view from a guy's point of view towards African American women because I've done my research. I've asked a ton of men about this and they all come back to me with the same response. Okay. And I don't really hate for you guys to be in the dark about this. I want you guys to know why it is and why we avoid it and why African American are the least desirable to date in the whole US. Okay. I'm going to tell you why. Okay. So listen up. First reason is because you guys carry a very strong odor, a smell, a very strong smell. And I'm not saying because you guys don't shower, you guys are nasty. It's because you guys just carry this really unique smell. And you guys probably don't notice it and you guys can't smell it because you guys grew up that way. But us, on the other hand, we notice that smell right away. And let me tell you guys, it's not pleasant.
Don't smell like old burnt beans. We noticed that. We notice fresh smells when we see it. I don't know if y'all be seeing what they be eating, but it be coming through their pores though.
I'm sorry, it's not a pleasant smell. It's just not a pleasant smell. Okay. Second reason, you guys are extremely loud people, very loud people. Like it's unnecessary. Like it just throws off ghetto-ness. You know what I mean? Like I hate to say that, but it throws off ghetto-ness. I can't stand somebody that's ghetto. I'm sorry. I grew up in the ghetto. Okay. I grew up somewhere called the jungle. You can already get
All right, consider this is enough for her. But this is the black and brown unity here that we speak. And like I said, I could go on and on because this one is like 3 of them. I'm not even gonna play any of them. But yeah, this is the city of Miami police who had to be relieved of duties because of all of the stuff he was saying about black people, right? Down there in Spanish Florida. But also you have not only the West Arabs, right, which is the Mexicans, you got the East Mexicans, which is the Arabs. All right, and then you hear what they got to say.
That's not religion.
What?
Yeah.
You said it's against your religion?
I'm Muslim.
When did it become against Muslim religion to date black guys?
This is how it is, my friend.
Against my religion to date them, I'll tell you right now.
Wait. Y'all, when did it become in Muslim religion you can't date black guys? So you telling me you can't date me because you a Muslim?
Yeah, my family would kill me.
He's mad about that thing, ain't he?
He's pissed.
I'm not joking. They are really, really strict family.
It's not right. I think your family lied to you. I
Just
think
strong faced.
Make cost a lot. Seems
No, consider it's against my religion to date them, so I understand. All right, but he doesn't seem to comprehend because it's for black people religion to love everybody, you see? And you see how mad he was about that. And then also I guess just for because mind you, the Arabs did this for like 1,000 years before even Europeans showed up. So
I would like to start this video with Free Palestine for those idiots that called me Zionist, only for them to deny real things like anti-blackness in the Arab world. So we have an N-word in the Arab language. Most of you know it. It's Zinji. Zenshi in the Turkish language. Shout out to my Afro-Turkish people. Zengi in the Persian language. Shout out to my Afro-Iranians. And in the Egyptian parts, it's Zengi. So this word refers historically to the Zanj people. Those were individuals that were enslaved and taken from the original land in East Africa, mostly the Swahili coast. They were taken to the Arab Empire, and they worked there as slaves on plantations, the men, or as sex slaves, the women, and many other brutal things with very brutal conditions. Yes, there were Slavic people enslaved too, but they didn't suffer the same. And they were much more privileged than black people, which should prove you that there were a racial hierarchy.
all right, anyway. So you want to say something, Cassandra?
Well, I love that black and brown. That's all I got to say. Love it. How could we live without them?
All I can say to black and brown is this.
God bless America.
They should have did that during the Super Bowl. But anyway, all right. Let's get back to the history thing. Now let's talk about something positive, right?
No one really lives on that. Most of the people live on the right-hand side of the island over here in all these communities. But one of the reasons they settled.
My bad, that was the wrong thing.
In the late 1600s, rival imperial powers, Spain and England, shared a border near what became South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. Any slave who escaped to Florida from the British colonies was granted their freedom. For the enslaved, Spanish Florida became the first promised land. In 1738, a small group of black people created their own town near St. Augustine. They called it Fort Mose, the first all-black settlement in what is now the United States.
Enslaved folk in South Carolina realized that if they reach Florida, that is not controlled by the English, perhaps they can seek refuge.
300 miles north of Fort Mose, near the Stono River just outside of Charleston, word of the free town to the south reached a group of slaves. This inspired one of the largest slave revolts in the history of the British colonies. One morning in 1739, a group of about 20 black men set out before dawn. As they traveled, they set fire to plantations. Nearly 100 slaves joined them for the journey. When word of the fugitives' rebellion spread, local militiamen were mobilized, and a brutal battle ensued. Many were killed in the clash, and black rebels who were later captured were tried and beheaded in an effort to instill fear. To discourage future rebellions, harsh new slave laws were imposed, including forbidding teaching slaves to read. Within a year, British colonial forces seized Florida from Spain, and Fort Mose was destroyed.
Now, even though Georgia did ban slavery, those who were in charge still allowed slaves to be imported into the colony. But South Carolina was more worried. And in 1739, they passed the Security Act, which required every white dude to have their guns on them 7 days a week, including while they were at church. Now, I keep mentioning about how Sundays was a big day for rebellions. And one of the Europeans' biggest fears was a rebellion on a Sunday while everybody was in church. And you know what happened? On a Sunday in September 1739, their worst nightmare came true with the Stono Rebellion.
Poisoning could not be caught readily, and it was often something that was feared by whites even when it didn't exist.
One symptom of their fear was that there was a law that white men had to carry guns when they went to church. Sunday was the only day off for enslaved people. And so the white folks feared that the uprising, if it ever came, would happen on Sunday when all the whites were gathered in church. Therefore, the white men were required to carry their guns to church.
It was on a Saturday night, September 1739. It was a work crew. Many of them are Angolans, including a man named Jemmy, who becomes the leader.
The fated Sunday finally came on the Stono River, southwest of Charleston. And they got to a store and broke in, and they killed a Mr. Hutchinson, decapitated him and put his head on a pole and cleared out his store of guns.
It happens in harvest time, which is the time when blacks are being worked the hardest. It also happens in malaria time, and there is an epidemic going on in Charleston, which has virtually shut down the town.
They did recognize the possibility that if they took common action as soldiers, they might be able to escape.
The governor of Florida had already issued a decree that any African who was a slave who made it to Florida would be free, and there was indeed a colony there of ex-slaves.
There is this African manned fortification. And when the Stono Rebellion breaks out, it becomes clear that what these people are trying to do is to reach Fort Mose.
People begin to join them. They burn successive plantations, kill some of the white people living there, draw some of the blacks with them. Others are afraid to join in and refuse to go. But unfortunately,
like us, because I was trying to tell them.
Lieutenant governor riding north.
They gave chase to him, but he was able to sound the alarm. And then, of course, a sort of a posse is formed, and they set out after this group of Africans.
It's an amazing moment. If they had been able to take him hostage, who knows what the dynamics would have been. These people are pursued south for a day or two. If they had been able to go another 24 or 48 hours so that more people could have joined them, their strength would have been greater. And who knows what the prospects would have been.
And the whites came on them. They surrounded these men and they fired on them. A lot of them were scattered. Many of them were killed.
Some of them escaped into the swamp, but those that they did capture, they chopped their heads off and put their heads on poles leading out down what is today US 17 out of Charleston to send a message to the other Africans. This is what will happen to you if you rebel.
After the Stono Rebellion, all of the separate laws governing slavery were consolidated into a single code. This Black Code restricted the movement of Black people and regulated almost every aspect of the lives of the enslaved.
Now, during the harvest time in the fall, of course, slaves were worked even harder so that they could. All right. Oh, and we all heard this story, so I could skip a little ahead. A message that it was wartime, but they also banned it to stop communication too. But they ended up killing about. All right. So yeah, and I just said how they just outlawed our drums, right? Because how we used to use drums for communication and stuff like that.
25 white people and beheaded some of them, and they were able to free about 30 or 40 people, and their numbers grew to around 50 or 60. Now, they were only about 30 miles from Fort Mose and reaching Florida when they came across this white boy, but they couldn't catch him, and he was able to alert another posse, and a mob of armed white boys showed up. Now, unfortunately for these enslaved brothers, it was just too many of the white boys, and they had too many weapons, and they lost the battle. Some managed to escape into the swamp into the rebellion. South Carolina ended up passing the Negro Act of 1740.
On this date in 1740, South Carolina passes the Negro Act of 1740, which allows masters to whip and kill slaves who violate the law by growing their own food, learning to read, assembling in groups, or earning money.
September 20th, 1739. As a result of the rebellion, slaves that had previously escaped were captured and executed or sold. The white community knew that they had to keep a better eye on their slaves to prevent this from happening again. More slaves' codes were enforced that made punishment for runaway slaves more severe, but also required owners to treat their slaves a little better to prevent them from wanting to rebel again. Owners also knew that they couldn't always keep an eye on the slaves every waking second, so they allowed certain slaves to become informants within the slave community, and the Security Act
Heard that,
was passed that required all whites.
They heard some of the slaves there because
And
they
those
couldn't
are the
do it
ones that
themselves.
died.
To carry guns with them on Sunday in case slaves wanted to attack on their day off. The white owners also made an example of slaves who didn't join or fought against the rebellion by rewarding them with clothes and money. The slave of a man named Thomas Eliot was actually awarded his freedom for defending his owner and his owner's family from the rebels.
Now, the first thing this Negro
Defending
Act
his
did,
owner and his owner's family from the rebels. And then he probably got kidnapped when he went to a free state and sent back into
And
slavery.
then he
Probably.
allowed him to live. And they allowed him to live. That's the sad part about it. No consequences for traitors. Why? When they trade and they treason, display that treasonous behavior, they should be dealt with. But nothing is, even today, Candace Owens can say whatever she wants about the Black community and nothing happens. This shouldn't be allowed. Seriously, that's crazy. But this is what we do.
That's crazy. All right, and let's just go through it because there's one more thing after this part, and then we'll be done for the day. But Fort Mose, okay, that's a good thing. Fort Mose was now look at it though, of course. Look
Out
who
of
owns it.
state where history has been rebuilt.
Look
As
who
of
makes
today,
money off of
the
it.
historic
Better
Fort
yet.
Mose site now has a fort for the first time in hundreds of years. Jessica Clark takes us to the life-size replica that aims to help tell the story of how the Underground Railroad first ran south, not north.
And then we saw what they was doing in Spanish Florida. It was like, let's go nuts.
Has often used cannon firings to tell its story. And now we actually have the fort here. Now there is a tall wooden fort for the first time in hundreds of years where one stood in the 1730s.
I think it's just, it's spectacular. It's like unbelievable. It's like, are you kidding me?
Charmaine Russell and Iolani Haleski are reenactors at Fort Mose, volunteers. They and others for 20 years or more have told the story of Fort Mose to visitors, but only in a field with tents, cannons, and a good imagination. So Friday, the community and the state park system cut the ribbon for the new life-size replica of the actual Fort Mose.
This is like Christmas and my birthday rolled into one.
Just 2 years ago, Charles Ellis, president of the Fort Mose Historical Society, showed me where he believed the fort would be built.
Here, it'll probably start in this area right here.
And then Friday, he saw the reality of a dream, hard work, and fundraising.
By rebuilding this fort, we offer the public a chance to reflect on the true values of freedom.
Fort Mose is indeed a freedom story from the 1700s. Under the colonial Spanish flag, Fort Mose was a place that enslaved people ran south to in order to escape life on plantations in Georgia and the Carolinas.
If they made it here, you get freedom.
Kathy Deegan celebrated Friday. She was one of the first archaeologists to work on the site 40 years ago, long before it was a park.
I just never could have actually imagined that this would happen when we first started working here.
Having an actual fort will
really bring a lot more visibility and tell the story a lot more widely.
And yet the building, while a great teaching tool,
it's an empty shell without the people.
Oh, I like that.
Nothing without the volunteers. So we are nothing without the story itself.
In St. Augustine, Jessica.
All right, how about we make some new stories, right? But they call it America. Of course, it was other black settlements here already. But I don't know, like you can't really call it America because it was Spanish Florida. And of course, it was destroyed after, Europeans started being Europeans, right? And y'all heard the Stono Rebellion, right? Where the brothers did what they had to do, So, shouts out to these brothers.
Have you ever heard of the Stono Rebellion?
I don't know the right one, so I guess it doesn't matter.
The fight for liberation, justice, and dignity. The Stono Rebellion.
But y'all just heard about it, so y'all can definitely go over it again if you want to. So, one of the things that they started doing was this divide thing, right? Because one way that they tried to destroy it was to divide us, you know what I'm saying? And so, you know what? Let me go to the... Hold on. All right, let me go back. I think I gotta play another part first. Oh, you want to say something, Cassandra?
Nope, I'm just listening.
All right, yeah, this is right.
Security.
So, of course, after that, right, then they started making up all of these laws about trying to keep us divided and stuff like that. So,
Importation of slaves in the colony, because they wanted to make sure they wasn't sending in any more rebellious slaves. So they got real strict about it. But the law also reinforced other laws that prohibited slaves' ability to earn money, to gather in groups, or to walk around alone. So you couldn't walk around in a group or walk around by yourself. They also made it illegal for slaves to be able to grow their own food. And the law of 1740 was also one of the first laws against education. And they made it illegal to teach slaves how to read or write. And I'm telling you right now, one thing that they hate is an educated black person, especially an educated black person who can encourage unity and actually make it happen. But, they stopped slaves from being able to read and write. Now, of course, they reinforced laws that allow slave owners to kill anybody they thought was rebellious. But now South Carolina required one white dude to be heavily armed for every 10 slaves on a plantation. So if you have 20 slaves on one plantation, then there has to be 2 white boys who are heavily armed. Now, the thing is, South Carolina also started a Christian school so they can force their religious doctrine onto slaves. And even though they just said that slaves couldn't read and write, guess what the one thing they allow slaves to read and write? That slave Bible. And even then, most of the slaves could not read it. But the only thing that Negroes could read was that good old slave Bible, for whatever that's worth. Now, as for the French and their colonies, including Louisiana, their king, Louis XV, said any child born to an enslaved woman and free man couldn't be sold away. And after a certain time, that child would be granted freedom. Now, even though this law was meant to discourage slave owners from impregnating women and selling their own children away, I think it had a great impact on a woman's decision on who to have children with. Because, of course, if the father was free, her child wouldn't be sold and eventually could earn freedom. Now, I'm not sure if they were including black men in that equation, but, I think it played a role in women's decision about who to have children with. And, you know, in my opinion, I think it led to that whole mulatto, octoroon, biracial system, and that whole thing that they had going on in New Orleans and Louisiana. And we're going to touch on that because there was a whole system with octoroon and mulatto women. But we're going to touch on that in another lesson. But I don't want to go too far in this lesson. All right, so consider you see one of the things that they did there was they had an attack on the family, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like, you know, it's with Spanish Florida in particular, and like with different groups, it was different rules. Like the French had different rules than the British and all of that stuff, right? But this rule kind of made it so that women would choose certain men, right? And we see like the effects of them splitting up black men and black women to this day,
Bring them
right?
in front of all the women and kids, beat the fuck out of them. You know what I mean? Similar to what we seeing today when you see it being murdered over and over again. They
All right, I'm gonna start it over.
It started with females. That's why they took the biggest, strongest male, bring them in front of all the women and kids, beat the fuck out of them. You know what I mean? Similar to what we seeing today when you see it being murdered over and over again. They publicizing that it's everywhere. Police killing niggas. It's constantly being put in front of our faces. So you show that this nigga looks strong, but he ain't really strong compared to the system or the white man, so to speak. Just giving you the imagery, right? Well,
they're basically desensitizing our people to the black male masculinity.
Yeah. And now we used to seeing get fucked up to the point where we okay with we don't even realize we programmed to believe black men ain't shit before you even interact with a black man that ain't shit. It's in your mind, you know what I mean? So
like it doesn't still have a huge problem with race. When was the last time you watched a movie where a black man ended up with a white woman?
Guess who's coming to dinner?
They actually remade that movie and recast Sidney Poitier's character with Ashton Kutcher.
No.
See the reverse all the time. Zach Braff can date a black girl on Scrubs. The only black friend on Friends can date both Ross and Joey. But Will Smith can't end up with a white woman.
He does in Men in Black.
Agent J and Morgue woman. They're romantically tied, but you never even see them kiss. And then in Men in Black 2, you know that they broke up because that's when he falls for Rosario Dawson. Because Hollywood is still totally cool with a black man ending up with a Latina woman. Like Ava Mendes and Will Smith in Hitch. Or Denzel Washington and Ava Mendes, again, in Training Day, huh? Or Will Smith and, wow, Rosario Dawson, again, in 7 Pounds. Unless you're making a point about race, white women cannot be with black men. In movies.
You know what else white women can't?
And Cassandra, you know why they can't be with black men, Cassandra? Because look at this. This is why, Cassandra.
Oh yeah, ain't that something? So now what's gonna happen with the little baby? He said he what?
No.
He said I hate Negroes and women. That means he gonna kill both of them.
Oh man.
They training up murderers. He already told you. They think that's cute. That's not cute.
Oh, yeah. And what you think about what the sister was saying as far as like, you know, the whole thing with women and stuff? I mean, black men and black women.
You already know how I feel about that. You already know. You ain't got no business dating them. Period. And it was a thing on Facebook where Israelites were talking about it's all about the male seed, but it's all about 2 black parents. We cannot seem to get it in our heads that it takes 2 black parents to make a black child. You cannot have a black man and a white woman, or a white man and a black woman making a black child. It don't work like that. It doesn't. You mix in your seed,
My bad.
your 100% seed with trash. And you understand that. And you think you're doing something. But that's an excuse so that they can work, mess with white women. Because they'll say, oh, but it's the father's seed. No, that's not what it says. That's what you say it says. But it takes 2 black people to make a black baby, right? But they want you to believe that it's okay to date these strange women. That's what they're called, strange women. And they said, oh, but if we date, That's just like a pit bull. We keep going back to the pit bull and the German Shepherd. It's not going to be a German Shepherd or a pit bull. It's a mutt. So it's not going to be black or white. It's a mutt. Because you can't take your 100% black seed and mix it with animal DNA. There's no way. What kind of baby are you creating? And we've seen some of those babies, because a lot of those babies who grow up with white families, they're racist against black people, because that's all they've heard, negativity about black folk. So they grow up not liking black people because they think they white. So I've seen it. I've dealt with them. But we have to stop. I'm telling you, we got to stop mixing our seeds with them. Those are not humans. Why do you think they're eating the babies? Why do you think they're drinking the blood? And now they got you eating the babies. You didn't even know for years you was eating babies. And how are you doing that? Through these restaurants? Where are these missing children going? These 400,000 children in America that go missing every year. And Russia just as bad. And a lot of these European countries just as bad. Because their babies are coming up missing, because that's what they do. They eat their babies. They mess with their babies. They do everything to their dogs and babies. This is what they do. Nothing's going to change with these people. And I don't understand why
I'm going to kill everybody in the world except for my family.
We don't understand it. But we think it's okay. Okay, keep on sharing. Keep on giving your seed to them. You're creating enemies for your future generations, you guys. But I rest with that.
Yeah, water baby.
I'm going to kill everybody in the world except for my family.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
A murderer, because I like killing. My brain tells me if I like killing or not. I like killing because when I first watched my grown-up killing show, my brain started telling me what to do with killing it. So I like murders and I like killing in my life. I'm going to kill everybody in the world except for my family.
Oh man. Anyway, Cassandra.
He gonna kill them too. They're gonna be his first victims. His family. Good. Go ahead, let him kill him. Keep him in his neighborhood. Keep him out there keep him in that Montana.
Hello, family.
In Montana.
Yeah. And then listen to this, because it goes the other way too. Because listen to this.
Swedish. I overheard my Swedish husband calling me a black monkey on a video call to another woman. You might be wondering why I'm sharing this story, but please, this is to all my black queens out there, all my African queens out there. Please, you need to watch this video. Learn a thing or two from this video. If you are thinking of dating someone who's not same race as you, please, I'm begging you, do your research. Don't think that because they are interested in black queens doesn't mean that they're not racist.
This is.
Don't think that because they are interested in black queens doesn't mean that they're not racist.
Yeah,
I'm one of them, and I'm sharing my story for you to learn and do not repeat exact same mistake as me. Story time. So I met this guy on a dating app. I was living back home. This guy was, we chatted, and all of a sudden he said that he's interested in me. He wants to marry me and he wants to come to my country. He did the paperwork and he was granted a visa. He came to my country to visit me. This guy seemed like a nice gentleman. Then he returned back to Sweden.
All right, we don't have to hear this story, considering we know how the story ends.
We already know how it ends. How it always ends with them. It's never going to change. And you guys keep falling for it over and over and over. I've heard so many stories about this. How they taken them to Europe and they treat them like dogs, literally. And they have to stay because anything is better than nothing. Anything is better than what? A shithole country is what Trump said. But you have millions and everybody comes to your country and gets rich except you. Everybody got lights except you. Why? We don't ever think about that.
I can show you why.
Call Africa a third world country. How is it a third world country when everybody comes here and rakes the country and gets rich off of the country? But you right here in the country and can't spend a dime of it. That makes no sense to me. But if they come together, they can do something about it. But they won't because you got so many house Negroes. So many house Negroes. But I rest with that.
Well, yeah, I mean, and look, this is how they do it, right? How this
family
white boy
based on
come?
historical reports and records.
This white
Family,
boy
we also
just
have
came in and
people who went to
just
Ghana,
got.
came to Africa.
He just came to Africa and just got like 400 women and just was documenting them and putting them online. They didn't even know they being recorded. But look at this.
That's a something like this one, but in a jar.
Ah, okay. I like how you look.
Thank you very much.
Okay. You are married? Are you married?
No?
No? Hmm. I
Next
from
up might be the mulatto
I
book.
live here.
You live in Kenya?
Yeah.
When you come back, I come to see you. Okay? What the hell?
He said this. He
But
goes
I'm glad your
viral
ass
for.
win.
Now he took advantage of like 400. I ain't gonna say took advantage. I don't know what happened. It's like 400 women, and he just documented and putting it online like it's an experiment, right? Or he just goes over there and just anything for. It's the same. It's just like this, you know what I'm saying? But
So sad. It's
around the
and
world,
you know what? But you, I mean, you have to understand why. These women have a quarter. He's got $1. You understand what I'm saying? So you talking good.
Yeah.
You talking a good game. But it's not just the white guys. It's the black guys too. Nigeria. You know, you got a whole lot of that going on over here. But that's anywhere in the world. It's not just Africa. Anywhere in the world. So why he just, portraying the African women? White women do it all the time. Look at the NFL players. Come on now. You got gold diggers everywhere. Let's talk about the ones that's marrying the black guys, the NFL players, the NBA players. Let's talk about them. You think some of them black guys would have them white girls if they didn't have no money? Hell no. No, they wouldn't. But they got to get that money some kind of way. So what they do, they send in their nannies, Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan. Now they get Michael Jordan now, right? He on the Epstein list. I'm just saying. What are we doing? What are we doing? But we making a big deal out of him portraying the black women, exploiting them. But the black men get exploited too by the white women. They just giving over their millions. What about the black guy that was married to the white woman? They tried to tell him that before he met her, she had a whole racist page up. He refused to look at it. She's changed. Well, how do you know? It was just last week she was talking about niggas. And now she in your bed. You really think she cared? And they'll fake it and shake it for 20 years. Ain't that what Drake's wife did? Sued him for how much money? Half of his wealth. Half. She came to the table with nothing. Got half. This is what I'm talking about. But we okay with that. We okay with this. We okay with having white lives and black lives, and you got I hate niggas and I hate and women. What the hell is that? What the hell kind of dysfunction is this? Who does this? But we okay with that. This is mental illness here, right here. You got to be a nothing burger to date them white women. You lose all self-control, you lose all self-dignity, no self-esteem, no self-nothing to date them. You seen the one that was feeding the dog and then gave the boyfriend the dog whatever. What was she feeding the man? Watermelon or something?
Watermelon, yeah, watermelon.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Then you got the black girl with the white man. He feeds the dog. She getting down there on her hands and knees eating with the dog. Come on now. Come on. That's a mental illness. That's mental illness we're dealing with. Mental illness.
And look.
We still want to date them.
Mm-hmm.
We just grinning. About the white girl and the mixed little girl called her dad a nigga. And the mom was laughing about it, put it on camera. What the hell? We don't see nothing wrong with that. This is sick. This is crazy. We need to come from among quickly. Be separate, learn not, and come from among quick. It's hard to be around demons and devils and not get impacted by them. It's called transference of spirit. So we begin to act just like them. But go ahead, Arrest.
No, because I want to, because the thing is what you're saying is like right? So they passed the Security Act, right? Which is like the law requiring white dudes to carry their firearms to church and stuff like that. But another thing that they did, because you speaking of like the mental illness and things like that, right? Another thing that they did, they realized that they could never be able to monitor all of us. So one important part of that is to get Negroes within to do some of that monitoring to get into spaces where they can't ever get into. And so one thing that they did was to make sure that they would always have their snitches, you know what I'm saying? The black person who would go back and tell, like the brother who they was, or black guy who they was talking about earlier, who got his quote unquote freedom for defending his master and stuff like that, right? And this would be him right here,
Listen to him give his explanation. Is nearly 3 minutes.
Somebody sent me a thing saying, well, Trump makes such racist remarks, and then he sent me this new video. First of all, you got to watch the whole video because it didn't look, first of all, it was a whole video and they just took the part out. But that's beside the point. Wonder if Trump was racist. I would still vote for Trump. Even if Trump was racist, I would still vote for him. Because, which I know he's not, because Trump has done a lot for black people, whether it's HBCUs or he's given more money to HBCUs than almost any president. He's pardoned so many black men.
You see how they be using them talking points? I'll be trying to tell y'all, stop saying that
They
stuff.
know they talking points,
And
don't
he's
they?
endorsed a lot of black candidates, right? That's not normally what some Republicans do.
How many black people does he have on his
over a crowded
cabinet?
field of white candidates? If he's a racist, he's not a very good one. He has Alex Johnson all kind of reasons that Trump is not a racist, but that doesn't matter because
See, this was that black dude who was defending his family, right? Who they quote unquote got his freedom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he was like, "We sick, boss." As Malcolm would say. I'm gonna go to now the last part. I'm gonna make it quicker, right? So we could get up out of here. But the last part I think is important because it's only like probably like 5 minutes, probably or less than that. Because the last thing is the birth of the wicked white bitch, right? So check it out. Or make it too long or put too much information in a small space. But there is one more thing that I want to mention before I end it. Because, speaking of South Carolina, a lot of people don't realize that at this time, around 1740, New York had the second most amount of slaves of all the colonies, only behind South Carolina. And of course, we talked about who was right. Now, understand, how like to be like slavery was in the South. New York had the second most amount of slaves behind South Carolina, which we was just talking about, with the rebellion and stuff. So next to them in the number of slaves was New York, which is in the north, right? Running New York with the Dutch and a lot of them being Jewish merchants. And you know what? Whites in New York feared a rebellion just as much as they did in South Carolina, which ended up leading to the New York Conspiracy of 1741.
In 1741, New York had the second largest slave population in the 13 colonies. Poor whites weren't a fan of this as they had more competition for work. Tensions were increased by the extreme winter chill of 1740 and 1741. For a few months beginning March 18th, over a dozen fires raged across Manhattan. As many buildings were flammable, initially the fires were seen as accidental until more happened. Many residents remembered the slave revolt of 1712, in which over 20 slaves organized and destroyed property. One named Kofi set fire to his master's property, inciting a riot in which 9 whites were killed and 6 injured. 21 slaves were executed as a result. Remembering this in 1741, the city council started an investigation, putting a man named Daniel Horsemanden in charge. His prime suspect was a white tavern owner named John Hewson, who pissed locals off because he allowed slaves, free blacks, and poor whites to congregate in his place. Wealthy whites didn't like the idea of these oppressed groups mingling together. A fire on April 6th fueled the belief that slaves or free blacks were behind the arsons, as when a black man was spotted running away from it, someone blamed him and a crowd claimed, "The Negroes are rising." Horace Mann urged an indentured servant named Mary Burton, who worked for John Hewson, to spill the tea. And she claimed it was a conspiracy between poor whites and blacks, saying they regularly met at the tavern. She was promised 100 pounds for her cooperation. Hundreds of slaves and free blacks were arrested on suspicion, and 2 slaves named Cuffy and Quack were convicted and condemned to hang in May, despite alibis from their wealthy white masters, which was a pretty big deal. Days before being set to hang, they identified dozens of people they claimed to be co-conspirators. From May 11th to August 29th, 17 blacks and 4 whites were convicted and hanged. 13 blacks were burned alive, and over 70 more were exiled from the city. This included Spanish blacks and white Catholics, who were predominantly seen as enemies because the 13 colonies' mother country, Britain, was at war with Catholic Spain at the time. Mary Burton continued naming names as a witness, but when she and others began accusing wealthy whites of participating in the conspiracy, she was released as a witness, and the investigation promptly ended. Historians
Amen. Now, she could possibly be the first lying white bitch in the history of America, right? Now, the important thing is that because she's tried to put it in there, right, where, because we like to have this idea where, like, oh yeah, these poor white people were somehow angels or something when they were the most violent. Now, this indentured servant, right, who, not a slave, this Irish girl, an indentured servant who was poor, sat up there and got 200 black people like either locked up or lynched or whatever, right? Because she was lying, right? And the minute they start talking about the rich white people who could be involved in this uprising, because she was just saying names. And as soon as she started saying people who got money or, the rich white dudes, then she was like, all right, yeah, we don't need you to testify no more, right? So this was the early 1700, the Irish right there stabbing you in the back, and the peasants and the because y'all like to be like they were slaves too, but there you go.
Cuffy and Caesar without any
And
evidence.
also she filled a
Not
lot of
one
gaps right there. The indentured servant, the first white bitch to do something, she did a lot,
was a 16-year-old white Irish girl named Mary Burton who worked at a bar where slaves and free black people could go there and visit. And people males and take
So
their
I
money
basically just told y'all
because there
what
is
she
a long
said.
history.
So right, and just to give you a visual here, I guess this is some AI stuff, but
Welcome back to another episode of Gone But Not Forgotten, where we explore the destruction and extermination of over 80 black communities in America that they tried to hide.
The star witness, a 16-year-old Irish servant girl named Mary Burton. Her words, with no real evidence, sent over 100 black men and women to trial.
Judge Horsmanden presiding. All rise. Please state your name for the record.
My name is Mary Burton.
Give us an account of what you heard.
I heard Cuffy telling another Negro he burned that house.
When did you hear them confess to the arson?
Yes, I hear them talking, yesterday.
Is your statement totally lawful and true?
Of course I'm telling the truth.
Yeah.
Sir?
Find the defendants guilty of arson. Sentences are as follows. For the main parties involved, we will perform a public hanging, and the rest will be sold. Court is adjourned.
now we know white bitches lie, right? But I guess in the history of America and documented terms, I guess she might have been the first lying white bitch. How about that, Cassandra?
But we always believe them, no matter what. They don't have to have no evidence. We're going to believe them anyway. That's what we always do, right?
Yeah.
They called your kids predators. And what they do, we took the label and we ran with it. No evidence. Found out later it wasn't true. But here we go again. We always believe in them. Always.
Yeah. Yeah, and I definitely just wanted you to see that, right? Because we know we could do the white
Biggest
bitch thing
liars in
all.
the world.
hmm
They
Why is
lied about
this so-
everything. How many black
About
men they said raped them and didn't nobody do nothing to them? How many?
mhm.
How many they didn't send to the graves? And they still and y'all still messing with them. Still mixing and mingling with them. Still marrying them. Okay,
Yeah.
keep on.
Damn, I won't. Yeah, the hell. All right, I think it's
Today
this is what it
on one
was.
of my social medias, I had my hat on my profile, and somebody said that they sent me a message, and it showed that they were 5,000 feet away from me. 5,000 feet. And they threatened my life because of the hat. The police officer could not make a report because it wasn't a direct threat.
In case you needed a more perfect illustration of what white women tears are, a woman who vocally supports fascism and oppression of vulnerable groups gets on.
Let's start with this one today.
All right.
This is
So we don't need white bitches telling us about white bitches, right? It's redundant. Um, of course you got
Most
this
High.
one here.
And I want you to watch harassing, berating, and hurling racial slurs at a woman, black woman, elderly black woman, older black woman, in front of her children. And she has been known to do this on several occasions. You're going to watch two separate occasions in the same video where this racist white woman is exhibiting the hatred that some people feel doesn't exist. Just watch.
What you there, sir? What did I do? I have you on camera. I have you on camera, and you're gonna be recorded. Who are you there, kid? Why are you messing with me? Why are you messing with me? What are you talking about? Who wrote that shit? Right, what? Yeah, okay. What are you talking about? And you know what? That's okay, Nucky. I got you. That's okay, Nucky. That's not your handwriting. No, it's not. Yeah, no.
Now, I don't think anybody with like license vested dog string hair want to talk about anybody's hair, right? But she's sitting there like, why are you talking to me this way, right? But do you want to see something like this? Well, I mean, this
And
is
the number one
crazy,
proof
Cassandra.
she gave them was
Right
that
now, this black girl had a white adopted mother who told her not to date black people or don't date a black man
To a Caucasian mother in Uganda. I want you to remember, this is a woman
in Uganda.
went out of her way, got us as children.
This is why you don't allow them to adopt your babies. Right here.
Look, this, yeah, it's crazy because this is psychopath.
Okay, one of the biggest rules we all had to follow: no dating black men. Let me say it again. Remember, I'm on the continent of what? Africa. Where am I? Uganda. Abazungu tugenda bajjawa. His skin is black. Twali muwasa, twali mu dating, sagala mulaba mu nyumba yange. What was even funnier was she was dating.
in case you missed it, what she said in her language is that she used to tell them, you're not gonna date black men, not in my house. Like, yeah.
African men. She was dating black men, but we are not allowed to date them.
You see, also, you see the hypocrisy.
Now she dating brothers over there in Africa, but telling her not to date black men in Africa as a white adopted mom.
for us, we are not allowed to date black men because our parents
How
want
crazy that is.
destroy your life. Give you guys an example. This was my
So black boys just want something new and they will destroy your life. But the white lady that moved from the US all the way to Uganda and adopted black kids can still date black men. The weirdness of it all.
experience. This one guy
The
that
weirdness of you allowing them to come over and date your children, and you let them adopt your children knowing how they are. That's the crazy part to me. Because you know, we have internet all over the world. You can find out how they really are. All you have to do is look. But you still allow them to come over and adopt our black babies. Why not just leave them where they are? Because what you're doing, you're taking them out of Africa, not even taking them out, but still abusing them right there in Africa. Because you know, anytime they get our kids, they come back with PTSD. They come back with all kind of stories telling you how horrible it was in that house. Even though you see videos of them smiling and having a good time, we think, but behind closed doors is a different story. But we don't understand that. But we still continue to allow them to adopt our babies from Africa. That's the saddest thing. We already had a South Africa, what's her name, Shalaz, that raised 2 black boys as girls. But her children were fine. But all of a sudden, these 2 black boys, they wanted to be girls. Really? Okay. Go ahead. I rest.
game at ShopRite. I was like, what, 13, 14? My siblings won.
KSLA News 12 has learned that Georgie Creamer has been arrested in connection with Saturday's altercation along Clyde Fan Memorial Parkway during the Centaur Parade. Shreveport police say Creamer turned herself in yesterday. She's been booked into Shreveport City Jail.
And that is a very short article considering the gravity and the magnitude of this woman's action. That is Georgie Creamer, who had to turn herself in after assaulting and throwing beer on an elderly black woman in front of her great-granddaughters at the Centaur Parade in Shreveport. Now,
the hell you think you are? My brother. No,
No, it's an elderly woman and some babies. I guess ain't no other black people out there. I don't know.
You shouldn't have had her ass out there in the first place, because you know somebody it's all white event anyway. Because I don't see no other black people. Why you out there?
Yeah, I don't see none
Put
right
yourself
here.
mixed in amongst them and think somebody gonna stand up for your black mind. They don't. They gonna always take up for their own. Look at him. She bad with this 91-year-old black woman, elderly at that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
altercation started. Their space. And so she started, telling, the
anybody about things, but the death threats and the things that are going on, it's serious stuff. And them losing their jobs over something that nobody knows really what happened other than us, and all of our friends and family that were around us that can actually speak up for us, So there's a lot of
the black news reporter to interview him.
All of us. I mean, we have
the girl daddy
that's getting threats, and it's bad. So anyway,
good.
Everybody needs to know, we're not who they're putting us out there to be, and something different happened than what just that video is showing.
Talk to me about that. We spoke about this off camera. Just run it through again. That experience, you were there with your family.
Yes, we get the same spot.
I won't need to hear that.
But she's not racist.
Unless you want to.
She's not racist, though. Okay. Okay. They always say, I'm not racist. I got a black son. Or I got a black child. I got a black granddaughter. Okay. We're still racist as hell. Because we didn't heard the white women tell us. Yeah, we can still be racist with black children. We've heard that, right, Forecast? We've heard that. White women telling everybody, even having black children, that we're still racist with black children. But y'all keep laying down with these demons. Go ahead and keep on leaving your children with these demons and devils. And then wonder why they eating people, eating the babies, eating each other.
Listen to what this fool said happened, right?
Every year, and we have
and get out my way. Basically.
Over 15 years. We've been going to Mardi Gras since it came on the Bossier side of the river, which is a long time ago. That shows my age. But we get the same spot every year. Me and a small group of friends, we actually sleep in our truck on a service road that they closed down. That way we can walk to this certain spot and tape it off in the morning for all of our friends and everybody to come in with their vehicles. So just like any other Mardi Gras, we did that. Well, it comes parade time, and like I said, an elderly woman, and she had two little ones, and then there was a young lady, I'm guessing, older teens to young 20s. She was there too. They were using our chairs, knocking over drinks, standing in front of our little ones, kind of not physically pushing, but kind of standing in front of everybody.
Minding their business. Now, he's just saying
Yeah, minding their business. Exactly, minding their business. But you know what? I got to add to the story to make it seem like it's okay what we did. That's what that is. That's gaslighting. That's what it's called. Deflecting and gaslighting. Because they never tell the truth. Every time they speak, open their mouth, a lie comes out. Don't we know that already, you guys? So do you believe anything what he's saying? She does, because she's a dummy. But we already know their history. Every time they open their mouth, they lie about something. So the 90-year-old grandma gonna start a fight. You already know that's a lie. You already know from jump that's a lie. They probably was in their space and they didn't like it. So now we gonna, make a move. No, you can't. You don't own the whole street. We already know what happened. But go ahead. I'm resting. Go ahead.
Yeah. Just to wrap it up, Cassandra. Just to wrap up all the lessons today. This will sum up everything perfectly. Let's see.
I'm breaking them out real bad. I'm so bored of it. I'm breaking them out real bad.
There you go. That's what we messed up.
I'm breaking them out.
Thank you, Nicole.
I'm breaking them out real bad.
That's what we're talking about. I want you to keep that video because I want people to understand this is justice for us. That's justice right there. You don't go to their courts. This is how you handle it because that's the only way to handle it because they're never going to be called guilty. They're never going to hold each other responsible or accountable. So why are we still going to their courts? When they do something, just like the white dude kicked the black baby, right? His leg should have been taken off from the knee. But what happened? He went to court. And what happened? Nothing, as usual. But we don't understand that because we hear people say, call the police. For what? So they can come and kill you? I'm not calling nothing. I'm not calling nobody. I'm going to call my candy bar. And this is how we play it again, Forecast. I want this to be inbred in their minds.
And by the way, yo, I ain't even see Bitter Medicine podcast. Shouts out to Koku. Shouts out to Icon Fire. Seymour, it's been a minute. Shouts out to that brother in the building. Appreciate you. Yeah, my bad, y'all. I ain't even see y'all saying. I ain't even see y'all in there. I'm sorry. But yeah, I'll play it again.
Leave people alone. That's what you got to learn. Leave folk alone. Because folk tired. People tired. Leave people alone. Stay out of folks' face. Mind your business. That's all we asking.
I got
But when
one
they
for.
don't, that's what you handle yours. Handle your
I got
business.
another. I got another one for you, Cassandra. She did big camera work with it.
Oh, that was a good one right there. Yes.
Yeah, of course it's gonna
Yes.
mess up all these jobs.
Yes. Oh my goodness. That was good.
All right.
Why is that truck in your mouth?
Ooh, she knew better than that. You gonna spit on somebody? Girl, you know your ass is done. Yeah, now get on up spit again.
Oh, she's talented. To whoop ass and record good angles at the same time.
Why is that truck in your mouth?
Ooh, what made her do that? What was she thinking?
Spit on me, bitch! Don't spit on me, how?
Oh, she's talented. To whoop ass and record good angles at the same time. Shit, fuck a cameraman. I mean, we got the whole play-by-play of the fuck around and find out ass whooping from the beginning to the middle where she laid her ass out, and then all the way to the end where she was stomping the mud hole in her ass. I'm talking about Stone Cold stomping that ass. Oh, now.
Why is that
All
truck
right.
in your mouth?
There you go.
Bitch, don't motherfucking spit on me, bitch! Don't spit on me, how?
So we just had to get modern about what they was doing during the slave rebellions that we saw. That was what they was
Bringing
doing
it up
during
to 2026.
the Stono Rebellion.
That's how you handle your business. I don't want to hear nobody else talk we going to court. What you going to court for? So you can pay them $3.2 million for them serving your child piss, for making your son drink his piss. Okay. We better start teaching our children how to say no. We better stop allowing our children to spend the night at their house or even hang out with them. Why do you allow your children? You know they're going to take advantage. He's only black in the group. You know they're taking advantage. Why do you still allow it? Why are you allowing your child to go be alone with them? I rest. These people are dangerous. We don't know that. They're very dangerous.
Why is that truck in your mouth? Bitch, don't motherfucking spit on me, bitch! Don't spit on me, how?
I love it. I love it. Let this be a lesson to you. Let this be a lesson. And y'all don't forget to go and get that book. Don't forget to go get Forecast's book. And the name of it is The History of Racism. The History of Racism. Go order your copy. Go order your copy today. Go right now. Next week, come back and let me know. I got my book. I got my copy.
Yeah, and the hard one will be the hard copy will be out, like it should be up, or it'd be taking like days to for it to be go up there. So
Yeah, it should be out within the next couple weeks.
it should be able to get it, I guess, in a week. But the ebook one is already there. So shouts out to everybody who helped me do it. It was a professional black editor, a professional everything, cover designers and everything. So shouts out to everybody who helped me do that, and shouts out to you, Cassandra. I appreciate you for coming on here.
Thanks for the opportunity.
You want to say anything to wrap up what we was talking about today?
Yeah, I think I've said enough. Y'all wake up. It's time to separate. Period. We're not just doing these shows for our health. I'm not getting up at 6:30 in the morning for my health because I could be sleeping. Retired people sleep at least to 9. I'm just saying. But take this and go get your book and separate, delineate. It's time. We will never be able to trust them ever. Anytime you could take somebody to court and they can turn around and sue you for $3.2 million and get it, You just created generational wealth for him and his family. If they get it. But I'm gonna tell you what, I'd file bankruptcy on the ass today. He wouldn't see none of that 3 point nothing. And with that, I rest.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Koku. Shouts out to Koku in the building. Make sure y'all check out Bit of Medicine on every Saturday night.
Yeah.
It's 8 o'clock my time, which is East Coast time. So Shoot the Breeze Saturday. Y'all do that. Shouts out to Nicole in the building. I appreciate you for being here. Seymour, yo, it's been a minute, my brother. Shouts out to you being here. Shouts out to Icon Fire in the building. He said that man sounds like he from Ghana. Yeah, straight real self-esteem. Shouts out to my brother Anthony. Shouts out to Matron. Y'all subscribe to Matron. She reading a good book right now too. I like that author. Shouts out to Karma 804. I appreciate you. And everybody else. Shouts out to y'all. In the last words, he said, "What would my mother say about her, Cassie?" Yo, consider.
Oh Lord. Yeah, Nicole Mama and I are yeah, we twins. Nicole Mama and I are twins. I tell you, we think alike.
All right. And I will say this, and I will let this brother have the last words. If it come up, our computer is acting real slow.
You got field Negroes in America today. I'm a field Negro. The masses are the field Negroes. When they see this man's house on fire, you don't hear these little Negroes talking about our government is in trouble. They say the government is in trouble.
That's two evils. I don't hear it.
Imagine a Negro, our government. I even heard one say our astronauts. They won't even let him near the plant. And our astronauts, our Navy, that's a Negro that's out of his mind. That's a Negro that's out of his mind. Just as the slave master in that day used Tom, the house Negro, to keep the field Negroes in check, the same old slave master today has Negroes who are nothing but modern Uncle Toms, 20th century Uncle Toms, to keep you and me in check, keep us under control, keep us passive and peaceful and nonviolent. That's Tom making you nonviolent. It's like when you go to the dentist.
All right, I'm gonna stop it right there. I do have to do this just for the last words, so I will play this one for the last words, y'all. How about this?
I may be poor, but I am somebody. I may be on welfare, but I am somebody. I may be in jail, but I am somebody. I may be uneducated, but I am somebody. I am black, beautiful, proud. I must be respected. I must be protected. I am somebody.
Okay, right on, brother.
Right on. Huh? Okay. I'm gonna leave that there. I'm not gonna say nothing.
I didn't say nothing.
Right I'm
ain't
gonna
say
leave
nothing.
that right there, but maybe he can tell MLK what really happened now. I'm just saying.
All right.
Hey, I'm gonna say it. That's all I'm gonna say. They can have that discussion now, right? Bro, why you set me up? Oh, okay. I said I'm gonna say they didn't. Okay, I'm just saying. Okay. I'm good.
That we are
That was
somebody,
somebody,
Cassandra.
okay.
We are somebody. Just remember that. I'm black and beautiful. We are
Yeah.
somebody.
We ain't gonna go there. We gonna leave it there.
Yeah. So as always, man, we've got to start standing for something, or we're gonna keep falling for anything.
Peace, family. I'm somebody.